Hello, good evening, and welcome to the FB4 Daily. It is Gav. We are 4 minutes late. That's my fault, completely and utterly my fault. I'm sorry about that. This show was brought to you by the Paddy Power. It is an app, it is a website, it is a bookies. You know how it works by now. If you want to gamble, try gamble with Paddy Power. If you don't gamble, that's fine as well. Don't be panicking. It's not for you, and that is absolutely and utterly fine. With me tonight on the show, I have my good friend Damo. Damo, how are you, my man?
Not a bother. I just wish I had you around when I start backing on Paddy Power originally, because I'm losing me bollocks with him at the minute.
It's that bad, Damo, is it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's pretty poor at the minute.
All right.
But we soldier on.
We'll soldier on. Absolutely. Damo, I want to talk about the Sheffield United game tomorrow. I want to talk about the sponsorship deal that's a bit has come out about today. And I want to talk about anything else that comes in on the chat, I suppose. Anything at all, whatever comes in, we'll have a chat about it. I always keep the chat up on the screen so we can see as much as I possibly can, and then we go from there. But just Damo, first things first, I want to talk about the other fixtures as well over the weekend. I'll get them up. There's a few interesting ones there for me, so I just want to get a quick thought on them from both of us and maybe a prediction. It's something I'm going to do, the day before the fixture starts, or Friday night more than likely, and I'll do that most Fridays. Chris Brack says his tickets for the League Cup are sorted. Little girl's first game at Anfield. Happy days, Chris. Good man yourself. But Damo, just starting with us, we were talking about Sheffield United last night, and in the WhatsApp group today we were talking about it. A lot of lads feel we'll win, but feel it'll be a tough game. Have you seen much of Sheffield United so far this season, Damo?
No, but I actually seen a bit of them last season. Funny enough, like it kind of at the minute now the missus is working, so I fuck all to do on a Monday or Tuesday night, and I found myself watching a lot of Championship football last year. And your man's created a dogged enough side in there. And I was actually speaking to a guy in work today, and it's probably the first game that I've felt all season that I'm a little bit nervous about going into. I don't think they're going to be a pushover by any means. They do like to kind of keep things tight, and they do like to attack you very, very quickly on the break, which kind of has found us a little bit susceptible to that this year because we play so high and we're willing to come on to teams. They will love to exploit that, and they're not afraid to work hard, and I think that's what I fear a little bit with them, because they are a very workmanlike team on top of having and being well set up, and they will like to counter. So they have got a couple of positives about them that could hurt us. I still think we probably have too much firepower for them on the day, but it is a game that I'm not looking forward to. I hate early kickoffs, and I've just always hated games at Sheffield United. Whatever it is, I feel we'd never play well there. So I'm just hoping we go there, do a professional job, get the 3 points and get out. I don't think it's going to be a game that will kind of whet our appetite and will come away from that saying, we blitz them. I hope we do. But I just think these might have a little bit about them to cause us a few problems tomorrow.
Well, do you know what, Damo? I seen highlights of them. I think they opened the season away to Bournemouth, and they got a late goal there. The guy's name escapes me. Billy Sharp I think he gets an equaliser near the end of the game. They get beaten at home by Southampton. They beat Palace at home, I think. They get a draw away at Chelsea when they're 2-0 down and get back to 2-2, if I remember rightly. And the Everton one then, they were coming off the back of a defeat at home by Southampton. And I think they had a goal disallowed for VAR in that game to go 1-0 up, and eventually got beaten 1-0. But they go to Everton, and I watched the whole game last weekend. Liverpool went on till the Sunday. I was sitting here at 3 o'clock. I said, I watch one of the games. I stuck on Everton just to see what was going on. And you know what? I'll tell you what it was about them. You said dogged. Dogged is a decent word for it, but I will tell you that they are extremely well drilled. Extremely, extremely well drilled. they had a setup there, and they were very clued into what Everton were trying to do very quickly. And what they done with Everton was, instead of letting Everton play through the middle of the pitch and get Sigurdsson involved and maybe Richarlison doing things, and and Moise Keane, instead of letting them get through the middle, they pushed them out wide, and they allowed Everton to get to the end line. They allowed that, and they just felt that we'll deal with anything coming across here. We'll deal with it, and they done it extremely well. They didn't play a hell of a lot of football. They got lucky with the own goal by Yerry Mina to make it 1-0, and then they held their ground. They held their ground. They done everything on the break then for the second goal. Guy Muse got the second, and Everton were all over the place. They Theo Walcott right back for the last 20 minutes. It was mad. So they are very dogged. They're extremely organised. I can see this one day tomorrow being one where Liverpool has to be really on it for a fight, but have to be really intelligent in the way they play balls. I think slinging balls in the box won't be the thing. They'll have to break this side down.
I think so too. As you said, they're fairly well set up, and that's what I took from watching a lot of them last year. I didn't see a whole lot of them this year, now I have to admit. But I would assume that they've only got better from last year. You would kind of assume that stepping up the level to the Premier League, they probably added a little bit more quality into the side as well. But that was one thing that struck me last year, was that they don't give a lot of chances up. What my fear is that if they do nick a goal early, or they nick a goal in the game, like last week with Everton, they are going to be very hard to peg back and get into the game against them. So I'm hoping that our lads just show up with the head screwed on in the morning, do a professional job, and get in and get out with the 3 points. Because if you get into kind of showing up down there, thinking this team is going to roll over for you and you're going to take 3 points, you're going to be in for a big shock. I think it's a tight ground to be up for it. The fans will be up for it. That's for definite. And it's a game that's not sitting well with me just at the minute. I think it's one that could become a banana skin for us, but I just hope we're professional enough tomorrow to get the job done. It's lucky enough now the lads have had a week off. They haven't had to play during the week, so the lads will be fresh at least, because they looked a bit leggy in the last game. So I'm hoping that the lads are nice and fresh in the morning and just have the head screwed on and get on them early.
Yeah, absolutely. North Red here is saying he reckons 3-0 to the Reds. He has Salah for 2 and Van Dijk to score. Stephen Max says this Liverpool team is like no previous LFC team since the 80s. There's no need to be worried. There's no need to be worried. And to be honest with you, I go into games and I think, you know what, Liverpool will look after this. Even Chelsea last week, I felt Chelsea will have a spell in the game and different bits, and I knew when we were 2-0 up at half time, Chelsea will have a spell. We could have put that to bed early in the second half, but they did have a decent spell with 15 minutes to go or so. They were kind of on top, I thought. But I always feel Liverpool will look after it. This is a different test. This to kind of anything we've seen this season. I'm being honest with you. Norwich came out and were blasted away. Arsenal, as good as people, Arsenal said Arsenal where they weren't. Liverpool were in third gear. Burnley, nice professional performance. Chelsea, we've done the job. Newcastle, we've done the job. This is a different one. This is going to be an away game where, like always, we'll have a lot of the ball, but I think it's going to be one where these are literally going to sit there and go, right, let's see what you've got. They are going to go that pragmatic in the game. Do you know what I mean? But the lineup, Damo, a lot of people are saying it'll be the standard Champions League final lineup, bar Adrian for Alisson. Do you see anything different to that?
No, I think that's fairly nailed on for tomorrow. I think Wednesday's lineup with Milner starting at left back Wednesday, there's no chance he starts tomorrow. So it looks like it's going to be Ronaldo, Fabinho and Henderson in the middle. And that's the only ones that's really rotating in the starting 11 for the main games at the minute. It seems to be the middle three is the only kind of rotated three. So I think it's pretty much nailed on tomorrow what the starting 11 is going to be. It'll probably be the same as last weekend.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. I think I can't see anybody breaking their way into that side. Just on one thing, Shaqiri is out injured. I don't know if Origi looks like he's back in training. Mane is the same, so it looks like Mane will start. A few people have mentioned Harvey Elliott maybe getting on the bench in place of Shaqiri. Is it something you could see happening?
I don't see why not. I thought he was excellent the other night, and if the kid is good enough, he's old enough for me, and we shouldn't be looking at his age. I thought he looked an exciting prospect the other night, and a couple of times I've seen him in the pre-season, he does look like he's got something about him. I don't see why not. You possibly could have a look at him, because he's he's the type of player you could bring into a game that's not going your way, and you could come up with a bit of genius. Where, like, if Shaqiri's out, like, who else are you going to look to on the bench to do that? There's nobody else really there at the minute. It is there to add that little bit of flair. So yeah, I don't see why not. Like, he put it this way, he's played himself into the reckoning of what he done the other night. Now I know it was the League Cup, and I know it was just the MK Dons. It's probably disrespectful to them, but he looked like he played himself. He done himself a lot of favours. I really thought it was an excellent performance by him. And why not throw him in there now tomorrow? That's why I look at it. If there's a spot there on the bench, get him into it, I think.
Do you know what? I agree with you. I think if there's a spot there and there is something there for you, and you know he plays in a position similar to the player that's missing, and he is an option, let him be an option. You know, Northred here is saying no, give him another couple of cup outings. And like, yeah, you could go down that road as well, but I just feel that he done well in a mixed kind of side, lad. You know, I'd love to see him. You know, if we are 2 or 3-0 up, Damo, and you're able to say to yourself, listen, we're going to take out one of the midfielders, and we're going to go 4-2-3-1, and I'm going to stick him down the right or down the left, and I'm going to move Salah in to keep Salah on the right, put Mane behind Firmino, do something along them lines. You know what I mean? You know, the kind of way. I don't see the problem in it. And it gives it's just another. No, I'm not saying do it every week, but if there's a little opportunity to drop him in there and take him back out there, and it's another step in his development, isn't it?
Definitely, to have him around the fourth team squad as much as possible. Like the other night was a big step in his development for us. I thought he was excellent, as I said earlier on. We both said there, if there's an opportunity tomorrow and there's just kind of a loose place on the bench, 100% I think he should be there, because I think he's played himself in and he's done enough on Wednesday night to say, well, okay, we've kind of got a space here on the bench. You mightn't play, but you know what, we're going to put you in there anyway. I would much rather see that than see some all season pro who's not going to add much to you coming off the bench, kind of sitting on the bench taking up space. You know, like I do think that you should always try to promote some youth somewhere, and I know I was trying to balance the bench versus what you might need on the pitch. But as you said, Shaqiri's out, he's injured. And we have no other player that can do what that type of player does, that can sit on the bench, other than possibly Elliott. So why wouldn't you have him there? So, yeah, I definitely think we should be looking at least have him on the bench tomorrow. It's not going to do the kid any harm, put it like that. He might get game time, but he'll get experience sitting with the lads on the bench and feeling what's like on Premier League match day.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, Origi is fit. He probably goes on the bench, and you're probably looking at a toss-up between Brewster and Elliott for that spot, unless he just hammers it with, you know, Milner, Lallana, Oxlade-Chamberlain. That's 3. Then he's probably looking at maybe Gomez as 4. You know, Lonergan will probably be 5, or you know, some along that line. So there is a couple of spots there, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see. Chris Brack has a couple of random questions. If a jogger can run at the speed of sound, can they still hear their iPod? No. They're running too fast to hear their iPod. Can a short person talk down to a taller person? No. Not really, I don't think. Do you, Damo?
I'm not short, I'm tall.
No, I'm short. Would I talk down to you, Damo?
No, not normally, no.
No, not normally, no. No, unless you're not getting the round in.
Well, in fairness, my missus is smaller than she's always talking now.
Yeah, well, that's just rite of passage, isn't it? Grizz has called you Dano and then changed it to Damo, so that's good. Grizz is easing off the drink there. Al says, hi Gav. Al, how are you, my man? How are you getting on? But look, we just quickly, a prediction on it for tomorrow, Damo. What do you reckon?
I reckon we could be going in 0-0 at half time.
Okay.
I think we win the game. Possibly looking at 2-1, I think.
Toy.
But I don't think it's going to be easy. Think it's going to be easy. Well, kind of looking back historically on the games between us, and I know you can never kind of take previous games, but the last 4 times we've played Sheffield United, it's been a draw. We've lost 2-1 and we've played 2-0 draws the last 4 times we've played in there. So, as I'm saying, I don't think this is going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. But as one of the listeners said earlier on, this Liverpool side is something special at the minute. It's different to any other Liverpool side that we've witnessed for a long, long time. And I think we might just have a little bit more tomorrow. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get in and get out and get the 3 points here.
Okay. The sponsorship thing has come up today. There's a thing on in the High Court, I think, at the minute between Nike and New Balance. New Balance are under the belief that if they match Nike's offer, they have a right to sign another contract with Liverpool. It looks like Liverpool want Nike. The talk coming out of it is £30 million a year basic. And on top of that, Liverpool will get somewhere in the region of 20% of all merchandise sold. The numbers being bandied around is somewhere between 75 and 100 million a year. That's an estimate. Nobody can put a definitive number on it, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it, because when I seen 30 million come out, I thought, whoa. But it sounds like a low figure. Then you do have 20% of all merchandise, whether that be jerseys, anything branded with Nike and LFC on it. Do you think this is a good thing for Liverpool to be in the High Court doing this? Do you think they could have got it dealt with outside of that, or do you just think New Balance are just being a little bit of a nuisance because they see that the brand that they have and they're trying desperately to cling on to it? It looks like a lost cause, to be honest.
Like most sponsorship deals have a time that, like any deal you do with somebody, like a term contract, it's for a set period of time, and then obviously it goes back out to tender, and if you lose it, and it's your own tough shit. Obviously, Nike have come in with a better deal. Liverpool have seen it as a better deal for them, which they're entitled to do at the end of the day. Like they have to do what's best for them. So I think it is probably a bit of bullshit from New Balance possibly here. They are probably looking at it saying we've kind of got on board, which is when you were, let's call a spade. When you kind of got on board with us, we probably weren't the massive global brand we are now. Although we were that brand, the sleeping giant, ready to be that brand, we weren't there just yet. Now we're probably at the minute the absolute global brand out there, where we're selling jerseys in every corner of the world now at the minute. We're selling merchandise everywhere. There's nowhere you can go, you can't buy jerseys, and I'm sure they're looking at it saying we want another piece of this action. But the way I look at it, their contract was up with us. Whatever they put on the table didn't suit us, and they've lost it. So I don't like this idea of high courts and stuff like that. When you're named in the paper for all the wrong reasons other than football,
it's a bad reflection on things. Even if New Balance are just trying, chancing their arm on something, it's still Liverpool in the High Court dealing with sponsors. Regardless of what way you look at it, that kind of way, and people will take their own belief from that. The way, like, even if you were in court as a witness and people go, oh, I seen him in court the other day, oh, what was he in court for? And you know what I mean? It's just a bad thing, isn't it?
Puts a bad smell. It just leaves a bad smell, doesn't it?
Yeah, just no. Listen, it could come afterwards that look, Liverpool were well in the rights to do what they were doing. New Balance tried this. The court laughed at our court, and that's fine. But you don't want to come in over with a bit of any grey areas. You know what I mean? I know New Balance. I've seen today something around 28 million they pay per year for Liverpool. Nike is 30 million. But I done some figures on this the other day or today, and 20%. If they had to get 20% of all earnings and bring it up to 75 million, we'd have to sell something like 233 million worth of merchandise a year to get our 46 back, 47 back to get us to 77. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think Liverpool will come out with this quite well. Someone says there you have to trust in Michael Edwards. He's earned that right. Absolutely. It's not only Michael Edwards, it's the whole financial team behind this. And look, I'm not arguing like I was talking to Grizz about it earlier, and Grizz was saying no, it's 76 and it's 70 this and it's 70 that, and I was saying no. The only number we have is 30. If we go off and win a league and a European Cup, we could end up with 20% of sales, could bring us up to 110 million. But if we fell off a cliff next week, we could be in a 10-year deal that could be getting us 50 million. You know what I mean? Like you can't put an actual number on it. Now I know they'll run data and stuff like that, but the point I'm trying to make is it's an incentive based deal, which is fair enough. But I felt 30 million. I'd rather they said, look, I'll give you 50. You know what I mean? 50 or 60 and 10%. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd like a higher number guaranteed for
Up
10
front, yeah.
years. You know what I mean? That's just my feeling on it. Al says his girlfriend says New Balance girls LFC wear is very limited versus Nike for other teams. So she says. Well, look, she is she's going to be the I suppose the day trippers expert on New Balance girls wear. Listen, no one else is doing it, so she could do it if she likes. Did you see the laughable fine Barca got, Damo, for tapping up Griezmann? The fine was 300 quid, says Chris Brack. That was unreal, isn't it? And they're appealing it, which is unbelievable.
I didn't see it.
They basically got a fine of something like 300 euro, 200, whatever it was. I think it was around 300 euro, yeah. And for tapping up Griezmann while he was still in his contract. And Barcelona, instead of taking it and going, all right, they're going, no, we'll appeal that.
Yeah.
So
I think, come here, I think we've all seen our own players, like Barcelona come knocking, the players are gone, and you can be guaranteed that it hasn't been done through the proper channels originally, because the players' heads are turned before the even bids come in. So I don't know. I just don't like them as a club. I really don't.
No, the way they act. Listen, the way they act is. Do you know what the gas thing about it is, Damo? The way they act is nearly. It's a given now, and people kind of go, that's just the way Barcelona go on. You know the kind of way. You know
That's exactly it. It's acceptable. It's acceptable that they're arseholes.
Yeah.
And we just have to get on with it. Like it's I hate everything about them at the minute.
And then they kicked up the massive fuss when Neymar got his contract bought out for the full buyout, and they went absolutely apeshit about it. And I thought, well, mate, you're being done like you've done everyone else. You know that way. So, look, I just wanted to touch on it. North Red asked Damo, quick yes or no. Suarez linked with a comeback to Anfield. If there's a few links today, I don't know how solid or concrete they are, but it was thrown around social media today. Quick one for you, Damo. Would you take him back? Yes or no?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
The fella's a born winner. Like we went out last year and we played Barcelona in Barcelona, and he was an absolute scumbag. Everything I love about football. He played to win. Didn't care he used to play for us. He didn't give a toss about it. He went out and he won the game. He rolled everybody up as he does. And I had to laugh when I went on Twitter. I was looking at the Liverpool fans fuming over it. That's what we used to love him for. That's what we idolised him over. And if we could manage to get that player in and lose nobody, Jesus Christ, that is an addition and a half. Because still at this moment in time, he's still a very, very good player. He's still excellent at Barcelona, and he was excellent against us last year. And I just love his mentality. Like he's a nasty, horrible little player, but he's a winner. And listen, I just have a soft spot for that type of player because they don't care. They just purely are driven to win. And if you can get that player in around that club and it doesn't take away from what you already have, Jesus Christ, that's some addition. I don't think it will happen.
No.
I really don't think it will happen. But Jesus, I'd take him in a heartbeat once we didn't lose and that we already had.
Yeah. Kevin Sullivan says Suarez's contract is up and he's using it to get an extension. Never go back. Chris Brack says he can't see Suarez accepting being a squad player. He could cause trouble. Yeah, but that's because he goes around biting people, And in fairness, people will point to the time when he wanted to go, when he trained on his own and he was doing interviews in papers about being victimised at Liverpool and all sorts of stuff. Like, people forget that when they go on about Coutinho and stuff like that. They forget what Suarez done. They forget what Michael Owen done. They forget it's whatever's happening right now is what people seem to remember. But as a footballer, I'd have him back tomorrow. I would have had Coutinho back tomorrow. Because you can't have enough good footballers, in my opinion. Look, just going and looking at a couple of. Oh, sorry. Before I go on, sorry, Damo. Before I go on, right? We get a free bet off Paddy Power every week, right? Paddy Power, give us this bet, and we put it on. We put it on Liverpool in some sort of way, and any winnings we get goes towards charity, right? We've been completely unsuccessful so far, but we're trying to rein it in and pick, more realistic bets, right? So. If people want to throw in their suggestions between now and the end of the show, which is about 10 minutes away, let me know what you think. I'm going to pick one of the bets and put it on for tomorrow. Be realistic about it, lads. And we try, even if it's 3-1 and you get 60 quid going, you know what I mean? Just to get the pot moving. Just to let you know that's what we're looking for as well. I will put out a tweet afterwards as well for people to come along and suggest a bet for tomorrow, and I'll make a decision early in the morning before I put the bet on, and I'll let people know online what we have done as well. But Damo, there's a couple of fixtures, I suppose, that are interesting to me over the weekend, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on them, because people do ask us about what do you think of Everton, what do you think of City, Chelsea, United, stuff like that. So I'm gonna pick out two of them. The first one I'm going to pick out is Everton against City. It's 5:30 tomorrow evening. I said last week I thought Everton were appalling against Sheffield United, although Sheffield United were really well set up. We spoke about that. But I did say last week, you know what? I don't mind Everton going into a game against Man City where, listen, if they had an extra 4 points this season, they go, we get beaten by City, but we've had a decent start. But they've been shite, Damo. I don't mind them going into a game where the manager's thinking, I could be gone here. I could be really gone here. And the players, it could turn really toxic on the players within the ground. I'm happy with that to happen going into a City game for Everton. Are you?
Yeah, it was the one thing I was speaking to one of the lads in work about, that I was quite happy for Everton to lose last week, because they were probably looking at the game on paper. They'd be looking at their fixtures that are coming up. They probably would have said, okay, we'll take 3 points against Sheffield United because we probably won't take 3 against City. Now they're going into a game against City where they possibly need 3 points, or as you just said, the manager is in a bit of bother. But the one thing I think we'll get from tomorrow, the last couple of times Everton have played City, I felt they've rolled over.
They put it up to them a little bit last season at Goodison. I think they got beaten 2-0 in the end. But I do remember City putting out a decent team, and I think Everton rested a couple of their bigger players in that game, which was a bit mad.
Yeah, I was saying, I was probably just looking at it through Liverpool tinted glasses, probably wanted a bit more from them. They were probably just outclassed by a better side, but I just felt in the last couple of the times they played them, they might have not had the kind of the foot in the gas as much as they should have. Again, I'm probably just being a little bit Liverpool orientated here and thinking that. But tomorrow, because of the way they lost last week, I think they need a performance as much as a result. So I think it'll be a good game. I definitely think it'll be a good game. I would like to see Everton play them, try take them on, and not try contain them and damage limitation. Because I don't think Everton can play like that. In fairness, I watched them a few times, and I know we all get a laugh and joke out of them, but at times they can be very good in their passages of play, and when it comes off for them, they play well. And I think that's how they need to play City. And if they play City and they take them on, they might get a little bit of joy out of them. But I'm just looking forward to it because they need a result and they need a performance because of what happened last week. And the grounds are starting to come around about the manager there, and he's going to want a reaction, and I'm sure the players are going to want a reaction. So it's a good time for us to have Everton play City. Put it that way. You can know that they're going to play them and they're going to at least try take them on.
Well, you see, that's the thing, because if this was, say, 7 games to go in the season, I would expect Everton to go in there, lash a load of 23s in and go, listen, we have an ant to play for and we don't want to be taking points off City here and let Liverpool get an advantage in the league. Again, I'm looking there and they have... sorry, it's just gone off my screen there. Everton has played 6, won 2, drawn 1, lost 3, scored 5, conceded 9. They're sitting in 14th place in the league. And if it goes the wrong way for them here at the weekend, you could see them being very close to the bottom 3. You know what I mean? But I just feel like if you're going to get a scenario where Everton have to come out fighting, where Goodison has to get up for it, where they get in City's face, and I think this is the scenario: not playing well, hovering, players not really showing up, and the manager under pressure. Because I looked at their fixtures for the next couple after this, and they're not easy. And if they lose there, it's usually a giveaway loss against City. But if they lose there, that starts a roll. I think they go away to Burnley after this and stuff like that. It could be really, really bad, really, really bad for them. Chris Brack reckons the end of the weekend gap will be 5 points. Kev O'Sullivan says Silva is 1-4 out the door. Honestly, can see another Watford 4 or 5 to City. Chris Brack says imagine a Delph winner. Stephen Mack said a 7-point lead come 7:30 tomorrow night. do you know what? That's the one I fancy. I fancy Everton to. Don't get me wrong. City could absolutely look Malavog them around the place tomorrow, the demo. But I just have that little sneaky feeling that this scenario suits what Everton. It focuses their mind on what they need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I think as I just said a few minutes ago, I think the loss last week, as much as the performance, like they did a lot of possession against Sheffield United, and it probably didn't suit them. They probably need a team to come on to them a little bit more, which City will, and they'll create gaps. We've all seen games at Goodison. The place can be a cauldron, and they can get up for games. If the fans are up for it, the team might be up for it. Under the lights, 5:30 on a Saturday. I actually think this could be one of the games of the weekend, if Everton fancy it. And I'd be disappointed with them if they don't at least have a go, because they need a reaction from last week. And at least, like, I'm sure as an Everton fan, if you're playing City tomorrow, you're thinking, okay, you're marking it down already as a loss, and you're thinking, at least give us a performance. And I'd be even more pissed off if I was an Everton fan tomorrow, going out and lacklusterly rolling over for City, where at least if you get beaten, going down fighting, you would be happy, and you could kind of buy into what the manager's doing and say, well, okay, we give you another little bit more time. Where if they go out and they play tomorrow, get rolled over, get thumped by a couple of goals, Silva could be up for the chop on Monday.
Yeah, that's the way it could be, because like I've spoken to one or two Everton fans, and the way they think is, look, he's got a lot of money to spend. They've done a decent job getting rid of players that he didn't want, but it still looks a lopsided squad to them, and then, like, for me, looking at Everton, not a decent starting 11. They've decent midfielders. They've a bit up front, Richarlison and different things, Sigurdsson when he's on it. But then when you go on to the bench and you're looking at Walcott coming on, and I genuinely don't know how that fella is a top half of the Premier League player, or he's with a club that wants to be in the top half of the Premier League. He offers them nothing. So I hope Everton go and try do something. And like I said, mine's focused, trying to do something for the manager, get the fans back on side, nothing to lose attitude, never say die attitude, and come out with. But Damon, what's your prediction on that one?
I think Everton will be in the game up to about the 60th minute, and I think City might just have too much firepower from in the end. I think Everton put it up to them, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll make it easy. As much as we have a problem going to Sheffield United, I think that'll be a hard game for us.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is equally as hard for City going to Everton. Because they're off the back of thumping Watford. They're going to show up down there tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
With the handbrake off, you know what I mean? And they're going to think they're just going to show up and Everton roll over. I don't think it's the case. It could be... They could be up against a wounded animal tomorrow. I would like to think that. But it all depends what way them players are with the manager. At the minute, it doesn't look like they've really bought into this to what he's trying to do, because it's so up and down, and like 1 week they can look great and other weeks they can look terrible. So it's still a work in progress for the manager, but that kind of work in progress can be cut short very, very quickly, especially if they take a hiding tomorrow without kind of even trying. But that's why I don't think it'll happen. I think we'll get some kind of reaction out of Everton. Whether they win the game, I don't think they will. But I'd at least like to see them put it up to City, which I think they will.
So, score prediction?
I think it'll be 2-1 City.
2-1 City. I'm going to be ever the optimist, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And I if that comes off, I'll absolutely be delighted. The last one I want to touch on, the second and last one I want to touch on, Damo, is Monday night. It's United against Arsenal. This is always a massive fixture in the Premier League calendar, but this one just feels a bit strange. A bit like it did last season. It was a 2-2 draw at Old Trafford. It was a crazy game. There was chances all over the place. But Arsenal, people are making out Arsenal aren't this and Arsenal aren't that. Like in fairness, Arsenal, they started the season. They've been okay. I think they would have liked to be a bit better than they are, seeing as that this is your man's second. Is it Emre or what's his name? Yeah. It's his second season and they're looking to kick on. But when you look at it, they've played 6, won 3, drew 2, lost 1, goal difference of 1. Fourth in the table. As good a challenger as anyone else to the top 4 for me. But United, they look all at sea, Damo, and don't get me wrong, it's something I love to see, because I've put up with United for long enough, to be perfectly honest with you. If they weren't part of our conversation for 10, 15 years, I would absolutely be delighted. But they look all at sea, Damo, and there seems to be major issues there, doesn't there? Like from players to manager to staff to owners to directors of football, wherever they are. It just looks a mess there, Damo.
It does, and as you quite rightly said, there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems that's causing this. But the biggest problem at the moment is you have a manager who's completely overstepped, and I'm not even joking there. The fella is so far overstepped. Look, I think his last managerial role, his last game before he went to Man United, whatever role he took up at Man United, he was beaten 5-2 by Linfield. And now he's managing what people will call the biggest club in the world. And I remember watching them last year, and they kind of went on a roll of winning games. And I watched them, and I was thinking, he's doing no different to what Mourinho was doing. I don't see. He was still playing the same way, but he was getting results. And
they were playing the same way, but they looked to be trying a little bit harder for him.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I remember I was sitting having a point with one of my friends, a United fan, and I said it to him. I says, "You're playing no different than you did under Jose. The difference is the lads are trying for the manager, and they squeaked a couple of results out. They had, I think they won 14 on the spin, but I think you could take 6 or 7 of them games out, and you could say that they were definitely winnable games as it was, even if they were playing poor. And I think Jose possibly could have won the vast majority of them games, even with the team the way it was. But that club is in an absolute mess at the minute. It's from the owners all the way down. The owners isn't investing. I believe the ground is starting to fall down. Everything's just wrong.
Everything is wrong. I've heard different things on different podcasts from United fans, and they're saying that there's leaks all over Old Trafford that hasn't been painted in so long. It looks dated. Look, that might be trivial, but these are fans that pay a lot of money to go to the biggest league ground in the country. The shining light for the Premier League and Sky Sports and everybody else over 20 years. But then you look at there's talks, I've seen stupid, and look, they mightn't be true, but this is the sort of stuff that's going on. Like United went out and had a clear the air meeting with players, and Pogba didn't show up. All this sort of shit. Now that might be true, but this is the sort of stuff that's being able to be put into the press or on social media, and it can easily be believed. The kind of way. And that never happened under Ferguson. As much as people don't like him, you have to have a grudging respect and admiration towards Alex Ferguson, because he would never let anything happen like that. And if it came out in the press, he'd just get on and go, don't let him in their door again, and I'll show you how it's done. Everyone's having a field day on them. There's talks of Pogba's not happy. There's talks that players weren't happy the other night because a young lad was given the captaincy in the League Cup. You've a manager there that's coming out going, I'm really happy with what they're doing, and we're trying, and we're getting into these positions and all. And it's mad. Like I seen a clip of him coming out to the sideline against West Ham, and he's trying to get words out of his mouth, and nothing's coming out of his mouth, and he's just waving his arms around. But
it was a David Moyes moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. And then you go to Woodward and Phil Jones is in there. Now, the talk is Phil Jones said sacked in the morning. He didn't. He said something along the lines of, that's poor. And the guy turned around and did say, you're on camera, stop. But you see, that's the thing. The cameras are on Ed Woodward and the players in the stand as much as they are on the pitch. The signings they've made, all right, Daniel James looks all right. Wan-Bissaka, after a decent start to his United career, people raving about him. A few United fans have had a word about him as well. You've talks of Pogba wanting out. It's just a complete and utter mess. And it reminds me so much of when I was, 10, 11 years of age and watching Liverpool, and you were going, who the fuck are these players? Yeah. Who are these? And what's he doing? What's that manager? We don't play like this. It's absolutely insane, Nordred says, long may it continue. I hate the sight of them. I detest them. I loathe them. I wouldn't piss on them. You get the picture, he says. Yeah. Carl Duff says, United are a mess and I'm loving every minute of it. Most Liverpool fans are, but I do find it intriguing watching it. I'm watching something that's a massive money-making machine. You know, it's a global money-making machine, let's be honest about it, because they took the jump early in the 90s and got ahead of everybody. And even though money is getting more and more, they're getting more and more on top of it. You know, Phil Jones' video would never happen under Fergie. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. He didn't say sacked in the morning, though. I will stand by that. Go on.
There's just one thing I want to say about that. Man United are basically what we were in the 90s and through the 2000s. And what they've done is exactly what we done. They've gone away from their philosophy. Yeah. So we moved away from... We always played an open attacking brand of football from Shankly all the way through. And with Kenny. We tried to continue with them. With Souness, he didn't buy into it. He had his own ideas. We tried to bring it back with Evans, and it was slowly starting to come back in. It was a bit more open. It was attacking.
But we were tactically and defensively naive.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. But then we bring in Houllier, Benitez, and defensive-minded managers. Mm-hmm. And that's what United have done. They've moved away from their philosophy. That's where a director of football should always be at a club, in my opinion. Because you should always be identifying, like this. We play this way. We play an open brand of football. We're going to attack you. We're going to go at you. And United have done the exact thing that we done. They went and they hired Moyes, a manager who's not...
They were too romantic over it, Damo.
Yeah. They just thought they could hire anybody and it would just keep rolling on.
But romanticism doesn't work in football.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Sentiment and romanticism has nothing.
It's like Newcastle decided to give Alan Shearer the job when their fucking arse was on the floor trying to avoid relegation, and he got nowhere fucking close to it. They just thought, well, he's our best ever player. Alan Shearer will do it for us. You know, Liverpool went with... Souness was a bad appointment. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just... And listen, it was a bad appointment in hindsight because he was doing very well at Rangers, who at the time were strong, were a really fucking strong side when he came from Rangers, you know? The hiring of Dalglish was romanticism. All right, it went okay for 6 months and then it fell on its arse. You know what I mean? And it's an absolute mirror image of what went on with Dalglish at Liverpool as it is what's going on at United. Yeah. You know, like Dalglish comes in, he takes over from that other fucking Egypt, Hodgson, right? And he comes in and he gets the players going again, and everything's great and all and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong. In the second season, when he gets that job again, he gets them to a League Cup and an FA Cup final. You know, and that's fine. But the league form was appalling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And if Solskjaer went and done that now, people will go, "Oh, well, he's had to get in the League Cup and a thing." And what happens is it gets into your head that this is actually all right, and it's not all right. So it's just one of those things. I think it's a massive. It's something we could talk. Like people say, "Why are you talking about United? Your Liverpool podcast?" Because it's fucking extremely interesting, and I've gone through it on the Liverpool side, and actually going through it and watching it happen to somebody else of that magnitude, like Liverpool were at that time. You know, It's a little bit enthralling to be honest. That's being perfectly honest with you. But it's a huge chance for Arsenal on Monday night, Damo. Do you agree? Like, United don't look like a fit available striker. You know, they're not great at the back. They seem to lack a bit of pace going forward. Arsenal could smell blood here on Monday night. Do you think so?
Oh, I think so. The Arsenal manager Emery, he's on a journey to make that side in his image. He's still early days into this. He's very attacking minded going forward. When he gets the right combination in the middle of the park of maybe adding a little bit of steel and getting a good centre half, Arsenal are going to be a top side, and I don't think they're a million miles away from it at the minute. They're only one or two signings, and if he gets them signings right, he's going to have he's going to have a very good side in his hand. I think United at the minute lack direction. They have no direction at the minute. The manager doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what way he wants to play. 1 week he's pressing, the next week he's playing 5 at the back. He's, as I said there a minute ago, he's no philosophy in what he wants to do. And with Jurgen Klopp, we know what we get. Even when he came in, when we hadn't got the players to play his system, he still played the same way. Everyone keeps playing the same way. I'll get the players in eventually that I want, but we're going to play the same way. Where Solskjaer seems to be playing nearly like football manager on the computer.
It's reactionary.
It's reactionary, yeah. And he's got to the stage now where he's panic selecting. And the players look a little bit like they don't know what he's doing. These ideas are coming up weekly, chopping and changing. if I was Arsenal, I would smell blood here. I think United are shocking at the back. Even Adam McGuire, I don't think has made them any better. I think they could be better. I just don't think the manager has it in him to make them any better. And yeah, dead right. I think Arsenal could smell blood here. They've got more firepower, I think, than United, and they're both equally as bad at the back. I was just looking at the stats between them there. I think there's always been 4 or 5 goals between them in this fixture historically.
The game at Old Trafford last year, I think it was around December, was it? Last year, and it genuinely could have been 5-5. It ended 2-2. It was mad. Like, it was just every time someone went forward, they were like, he's in on goal. It was like when you play FIFA with your mates and know it's just look, no defending, just see who scores the most. It was mad. Like, completely and utterly insane. Like, what's your score prediction on it?
2-2.
2-2.
And I'm saying that again because, like Everton, I think United needs a reaction, and I think to be going on adrenaline is much, and that can be a huge difference in any team, in any game. It can be a kind of bit of a leveler, where you might lack the quality, but because you're going on adrenaline, you need something out of it. You're at home, you're against one of your major rivals. You might see them spark a little bit of performance and might squeak a little bit more out of them. So yeah, I think they'll get a result because, as I said, Arsenal are still lacking a bit of steel in that squad, and that's their biggest problem. Is that because they look very good going forward and they look very good in certain situations, but their middle and their centre halves are their powder puff, and they're there to be got, as we proved. It's that once you get at them, that they're very easily to get in at.
Yeah, Chris Brack says it'd be so Arsenal to lose 1-0 to a woeful United side. North Red reckons Arsenal 3-1. Just keep Ollie at the wheel. United are like an Everton, a mix mash of different managers' signings. Stephen Max says 4-1 to the Arsenal. You know what? I think you're spot on, Damo. I think this is one where United do need a reaction of some sort. A win for Arsenal could get them going, really get them going. I don't think a win for United gets them going. I think they're just too all over the place. They could go and win this and then lose next week. That's just the way they are.
They'll just limp on.
Yeah, they just exactly. And the problem is, like someone said there, 900 million spent in Ferguson. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of money. But when you have a club where the owners want to take money out, the chief executive or whatever title that man has, he doesn't know whether to be going to the owners and saying, look, this is a problem. Then you have a manager who I believe is not too sure if he's going to have a job month to month, depending on how it goes. I genuinely believe that. But I'm going to go against most things I've said there, and I think United win it 2-1. I think they look for reaction, and I'll tell you why. Arsenal will smell blood. If Arsenal overcommit, that's where they have a problem. On the break. On the break, Arsenal are appalling. Spurs done it to them over and over again. In a game where Spurs should have been out of sight. And although United are saying lack pace, I think Arsenal overcommit here and be too confident. I think they might get caught. I think Arsenal have a phobia about going to big grounds and going away as well. So I'm going to just go with United 2-1. The bet of the week, I seen somebody saying there, Liverpool to win and Mane, Salah and Firmino all to have a shot on target. I'm going to get that bet. I'm going to get the price and I'm going to price it up. Get the bet on and have it for you tomorrow morning before the game. That's the bet. I don't know who put it in. I just seen it come up on the screen. That's the one I'm going to go with.
I'll give you one for tomorrow, Gav, if you're interested.
Yeah, go on. We're always interested.
1 goal, 4 corners and 1 yellow card, all before the 30th minute.
1 goal, 4 corners and 1 card before the
30th minute.
30th minute. There's a goal.
I know I said I thought it'd be 0-0 at half time tomorrow, but listen, that's not a bad bet. I think that's at 8-1.
Okay, that's a decent one. Right, we better go, Damo. We're on this 50 minutes. We're taking the piss. No, but look, Damo, thanks for joining me. We'll talk again next week, yeah?
Take it easy, pal.
Yeah, okay.
All the best.
All the best. That has been the FB4 Daily for your Friday, the 27th of September. Enjoy what's left of your Friday night. Enjoy the Liverpool game tomorrow. Hopefully the Reds come up with another 3 points and Everton go and do something against City and that gap can be made that little bit bigger. As always, it's brought to you by Paddy Power. If you have, the bet I'm going to put on, I'm going to go and sort that now. If you feel you have a better one, tweet me at the LFC Day Trippers and I might take that on board as well. I might even split the bet. But listen, thanks for watching. Thanks for all your comments. It's been brilliant as usual. Over and out.